do this because this comment is in response to the video that I posted about the individual who won prom king that came in drag. Now, the first thing is you're referencing the scripture in Deuteronomy 22:5 that says a man should not wear women's clothing and a woman should not wear man's clothing, and if they do, it's detestable to God. What I find interesting is that most evangelicals and conservative Christians love to get on us progressives about we pick and choose verses to back up a narrative, but in fact, I can make an argument. It's exactly what you're doing here. And I know what you'll say. Go to Genesis. Genesis says that God created male and female. That's it. There's only two sexes, male and female. That's it. Facts. Fact? It's a scientific fact. It's a provable fact that that is not the case. There is something called intersex. Look it up. And humans are not the only thing God's created that is intersex in a way. You have different animals in the animal kingdom that are like that. It's even plant life. Did you know tomatoes are considered a hermaphroditic plant? That's also why we don't read certain scriptures literally. Some scriptures you can, some scriptures you cannot. And Genesis is one of those. You do not read it literally. Because when we read it literally, we create harmful theology. And the ancient Jewish people, and even the early people like Augustine and Origen, who were around 1600 years ago, understood not to read it literally. It is not a literal account of how God created. It's not a literal account, but it does tell us about how God creates. So what do we do with this, with the information we have, knowing that there are life here on this planet that God has created that is intersex? What do we do with this information? So what can be important for us to understand is, one, to understand a little bit about eunuchs. This also could be good for us to understand how the ancient world looked at sex. And eunuchs are important because they are in the Bible. They are referenced in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And the way some of the ancient people looked at sex, you can look at the way some ancient rabbis looked at this. They had some different terms other than just male and female. Like, so you had one was called an Islandite, and they were an individual that leaned a little more to the feminine. You had the naturally born eunuch that leaned a little more towards the masculine. You had the androgynous that were kind of like right in the middle. And then you had a fourth type, but they didn't really know what to do or how to term that individual, but they kind of said, hey, later on they'll figure out what sex they are. And in light of all that, we also have to read Jesus' words in Matthew 19:12. And depending on which Bible you use, in Matthew 19:12, it says, some eunuchs are born this way, some are made this way by man, and some choose to be this way for the kingdom. And Jesus says the one who can accept this should accept this. So in light of all this, do I think God's going to be pleased that somebody wore clothing of the opposite sex? I don't think God's going to care. That's not what we're going to get judged on.